All right, so hockey season is over, and this is, I'm going to take this shamelessly from the Replay Gamer in his Tabletop Talk. This is Desktop Discourse because this is a desktop, and this is where I do most of my hockey game playing. Anyway, so Desktop Discourse because discussion sounds a little too much like debate at times, and that's not what this is. This is simply sharing ideas. So, I have a question here, though I could have probably written it as a statement, something like your favorite time of the year to play, and then whatever it is, whatever game that you enjoy playing. For me, now that the playoffs are done and the Stanley Cup has been awarded, this is actually my favorite time of year to play tabletop hockey. And so I'm curious to know from other people, if you have one, what is your favorite time of year to play the sport that you enjoy playing? Does it coincide with the season that you're playing along with? If that makes any sense, hopefully it does. The reasons why I enjoy playing tabletop hockey at this time of year, the first being that it really helps me to break up the off season. This is why I got into tabletop hockey playing again a few summers ago. Between 2018 and 2019, I was just missing hockey during the off season. I can't really claim that at this point. Again, the season's only been over 4 hours. And congratulations to the Colorado Avalanche and also the Tampa Bay Lightning for one heck of a run. Pretty darn close to a dynasty in a 32-team league NHL with a salary cap. Even this Habs fan who can look back on its history with the runs of 4 and 5 Stanley Cups in a row. That 5 in a row one in particular in the late 1950s, we only had to win 10 playoff series to get it, and Tampa Bay just won 11. So even this Habs fan, that's where I stand in terms of Tampa's run. Taking nothing away from the Colorado Avalanche, though, of course, that's an excellent, just phenomenal a playoff by them. I just wanted to get that in there. But back to this, it is now technically the off season. And so if not tonight, because probably not tonight, I'm actually kind of oddly not in the mood. Now, basically now that I've come up with the idea to do this video, I'm at the moment, if I'm being quite honest, not in the mood to roll and flip and play tabletop hockey. But it does kind of fill a void during the dog days of summer, if you want to call it the off season. Even though in 2020 we did have NHL hockey thanks to the pandemic in the summertime. So anyway, that's the first reason, though, is breaking up the off season and filling a void. The second reason I really like playing tabletop hockey during the off season, and one that I should include, I would recommend that if you are, because I've heard this before elsewhere in the community, you have a hockey game, but you don't have the time to play it. You don't know when you want to play it. Well, I don't know, unless maybe you're a really big baseball fan who plays lots of baseball games during the baseball season, as people do. I'm only a casual fan at best of baseball, basketball, and sports other than hockey at this point. But if you have more time, like again, I follow hockey actively, I guess, or relatively actively, like even the current product. So that's why, again, for me, the off season really works for tabletop or desktop playing because with more time available to do that because there's less hockey to follow and also fewer distractions in and of that hockey realm. And so this would include, I would throw in designing there as well with play because though I've not made a video about it for a while, for the record, I was working on binder hockey actually yesterday. I was working on the sixes charts for it. So there is that. There's a little bit more time in the off season again to play and design. So I like that as well. In addition to my favorite time to play, I could also argue it's kind of for whatever reason my favorite time of the year to design. Sometimes having active like hockey games on that I can watch and be inspired and get ideas from, that really helps and works too. But I'm probably a little bit more productive, towards this stuff during the off season. Anyway, another reason, one's a little more personal, is just that the weather, to me anyway, to this Atlantic Canadian boy who grew up on a peninsula, was born there, you would think that being on a peninsula over in East Asia, where at least most of the country is temperate, they've imported or implanted a few palm trees in the southern points of this country, and Jeju is definitely a tropical island, but I don't know. I'd say most of the climate here, most of the landscape, the terrain passes as temperate. And so for whatever reason, though, it is so humid here during the summer, which is, normally would be the ice hockey off season. And so I'm going to be polite about it when I call the weather obnoxious and prohibitive because I just don't know how to be any politer than that when you encounter days regularly, including today where it was 30 Celsius or next to it and pouring rain. I didn't think that those two, again, growing up in East Coast Canada, I didn't think that those two things could belong in the same sentence. But yeah, it can be pouring rain, but still 30 degrees Celsius, which is like 90-ish Fahrenheit, or even a little above that on some days, some really steamy days. And then also another thing too is it can be dark outside. In fact, the sky can be pitch black, and it can still be 30 degrees Celsius somehow, even when you're not even facing the sun. So the heat comes and stays during the summer. So I'm not really an outdoors person during the summer. I would much rather, be outside in the spring and in the fall. And even with my bad knees, as long as it's not too wet or slippery outside, even during winter here in Korea. But during the summer, it's just you best stay inside as much as possible. Unfortunately, I do summer hibernation here. And so I was going to save this for last, but again, just to kind of circle back, I'm just sort of throwing that out there to the community for this desktop discourse, which I fully admit and will give full credit where it's due to the Replay Gamer and Tabletop Talk. This is kind of my fun little knockoff of that here, desktop discourse. Because I've done multiple takes of this now, and I think I probably mentioned the thing about it. It's my second title, the whole discussion that can double as a debate, and I don't really want to have that here. I just want to share ideas. Anyway, back to task to this. Let me know, in comments or elsewhere, if you have a favorite time of year to play a certain game, and again, whether or not that coincides with the season as it's ongoing, or if you have times during the off season where maybe you are missing a sport and you can identify or relate, and you really like to take that out during the off season and sort of scratch that itch as you await the following season to begin. So so for me, I guess now that I've talked about it for going on 7 minutes now, in a single word, and also too, I think for because again, when I say anytime, any consideration, well, it's never expected, it's always appreciated. I mean that, and so probably as the thumbnail for this, I'm just going to take a picture of this entire dry erase, because this is actually dry erase board page, and so that way, if you've only got like 1 second to give to it, you can just, I don't know, look at the thumbnail. Even you don't even have to click on the video. So there you go. You're all set. But to sum this all up in a single word, for me as a tabletop hockey or desktop, got to keep remembering this, desktop hockey player. I say desktop more often than not in other videos, but for some reason I'm saying tabletop here. Anyway, during the off season is my favorite time, simply for these reasons given. It breaks up the off season. I have more time to do it, and it's just a good way to beat the weather over here. I'm just not, really, I just don't like summers over here, for lack of a better way of putting it. But in a single word, my favorite time to play hockey, tabletop hockey, desktop hockey, is now. So even though I'm not in the mood to do so tonight, definitely in the coming months, weeks, days, and hours, I definitely should, be very much in the mood for it. So, all right, thanks. Bye for now.